The film opens with Stephanie standing in front of her camera, recording a video for her food vlog. She announces that she will be sharing her highly requested zucchini chocolate chip cookie recipe. Then, she addresses the question many have been asking her about her friend Emily, who has gone missing. For those unaware, Stephanie explains that her best friend Emily had asked her to pick up her son Nicky from school 5 days ago and never returned. As she recounts the story, Stephanie begins to tear up but quickly composes herself, assuring her audience that she is working closely with the police to find her friend. Stephanie explained that although she had started to feel like she didn't know Emily as well as she thought she did, she still considered her a best friend and continued to recount the story of how she had met her. Stephanie and Emily crossed paths at their children's school during International Cuisine Day, where Stephanie had prepared food for her son's first grade class. The lively and proactive Stephanie busily snapped pictures of all the children, leaving the other parents in awe of her boundless energy and dedication to volunteering. After class, Stephanie's son, Miles, and his friend Nicky asked Stephanie if they could have a playdate. While she didn't mind the idea, Stephanie wanted to check with Nicky's mother, Emily, whom she assumed was still in the city. To her surprise, Nicky announced that his mother had returned and pointed at an elegantly dressed woman stepping out of her car. Upon her arrival, Nicky pleads with his mother for the playdate, and Emily reluctantly agrees, clearly irritated by her son's persistence. Emily then invites Stephanie, who feels somewhat out of her element with this new acquaintance, to join her for a drink while their children play. Upon arriving at the house, Stephanie is taken aback by its glamorous appearance and Emily's careless attitude, which reflects her resentment towards her life. Upon seeing the luxurious kitchen, Stephanie becomes excited and asks if Emily enjoys cooking in it. However, Emily explains that her husband Sean, a once famous writer who had only written one book, was the sole user of the kitchen. While they're conversing, Sean arrives, and Stephanie is captivated by the smooth dynamic of the couple. When he goes upstairs to take a shower, Stephanie, seeing Emily's frustration with her life, offers to pick up her son and keep him at her place if she ever needs some time off. A few days later, while dropping off a box at the school, Stephanie receives a call from Emily, who requests that she pick up her son from school. Later that afternoon, Emily comes across Stephanie and the children playing in a park and makes a distressing comment about her feelings of inadequacy as a mother. Feeling sympathetic, Stephanie takes a picture of Emily with her camera, which agitates Emily, leading her to angrily demand that the image be deleted immediately. The two head back to Emily's house for drinks, and Stephanie presents her new friend with a bracelet she made. After several drinks, Stephanie is more than a little inebriated, and the two women begin trading secrets about themselves. A drunk Stephanie confesses that she had slept with her half-brother when she was in high school. A few days later, Stephanie gets a call from Emily, explaining that she had a work crisis and asks her to pick up her son from school. Agreeing, Stephanie takes the boys to her home and keeps Nicky until dark, but begins to get worried when Emily doesn't come to get her son. A few days pass with no word from Emily, and Stephanie begins to get worried. Concerned, she calls Sean, who was in London taking care of his mother, who tells her that he would be flying in the following day, unsurprised by Emily's actions. When Sean arrives the next day, he and Stephanie call the police and report Emily's disappearance. Once they speak to the police, Stephanie and Sean sit on her counter with a drink and talk about his difficult wife. The following day, Stephanie heads out to the city and goes to Emily's office to find out some clues about her friend's whereabouts. After speaking to her boss, who is no help, Stephanie sneaks into Emily's office and stumbles upon a hidden picture with a message on it. Taking it with her, she vacates her premises. Stephanie and Sean started posting flyers all over the city, hoping to find someone who had seen the person in the picture Stephanie found in the office. Stephanie also continues to assist around Sean's house and with his son Nicky, providing support to the family during difficult times. 6 days after she went missing, Emily's body was discovered in a lake, and the police had to retrieve her. Following the funeral, Stephanie arranges a gathering at Sean's house, but she becomes preoccupied when Nicky and her son begin fighting, Nicky accusing her of trying to be his new mother, as he is devastated by his mother's passing. Calming everyone down, she puts the boys to bed and finds Sean weeping in the other room. While trying to calm him down, the two have a passionate moment and end up spending the night together. The following day, left alone at the house, Stephanie begins to try out Emily's clothes and is startled when she gets a knock on the door. Unable to get the tight dress off in time, she rushes to the door and is startled when she sees the detective handling Emily's case outside. Inviting him in, She nervously agrees to answer any questions he has, and is surprised when he tells her that Sean had taken out a $4 million insurance on his dead wife. Feeling suspicious and wanting to ask Sean some questions, Stephanie goes to the university where he teaches and feels jealous when she sees him speaking to another woman. That evening, while they're all gathered around the dining table, Nikki surprises Stephanie and Sean by telling them that he has seen his mother at school. Taken aback, Stephanie initially thinks the child is playing a prank on her, but her suspicions grow stronger when she spots the friendship bracelet she had given Emily next to the boy's nightstand. Later, when she and Sean are alone, Stephanie expresses her doubts, but he reassures her by reminding her that she has seen the body. He also explains that Emily had taken out a life insurance policy after Stephanie had mentioned living off of the one her husband had taken out before he passed in the car accident. Sean expresses his happiness about being with Stephanie and invites her to move in with him. Initially hesitant, Stephanie eventually agrees. She packs up her belongings and sells her house. However, upon arriving at Sean's house, she is shocked to find that the closet she had previously cleared out is now filled with Emily's clothes. One morning, a few days after settling into the house, Stephanie is driving the children back from school when Nikki hands her an envelope, claiming it's from Emily. The shock almost causes her to crash. Upon arriving home, she hurriedly opens the envelope in the kitchen and finds a family picture she had taken with her late husband and brother, with a lewd message scribbled on it. It becomes clear that Emily is using the secret Stephanie had confided in her. A few minutes later, Stephanie receives a call and is shocked to hear Emily's voice on the other line. Rushing to Sean's office, Stephanie expresses her fear that he and his deceased wife were attempting to deceive her, but he soothes her, assuring her that it's all in her mind. Despite his reassurances, she remains paranoid, recalling how she had confided in Emily about her husband's suspicions of an affair with her brother and his questioning of their son's legitimacy before his death. Overwhelmed with emotion, Stephanie kissed Emily, but quickly pulled away. As Stephanie gazes at Emily's painting, which she had been keeping in the closet, she notices a name signed at the bottom, Diana. Tracking down the artist in the city, she finds her in her art studio and inquires about the painting. Mentioning a different name, Diana reveals that she was in love with Emily, who was a con artist who had stolen everything from her before vanishing. Years ago, Diana had paid for Emily to go to college and dedicated her artistic career to painting her only to be betrayed. Diana expresses doubt about Emily's death and encourages Stephanie to keep investigating. She pushes a box towards Stephanie, explaining that its contents are the only things Emily left behind. Upon finding a sweatshirt with the name of a summer camp on it, Stephanie heads to the camp to conduct further investigation. Winning over the camp owners, she persuades them to show her old yearbooks of children who attended the camp. In doing so, she discovers that Emily had a twin sister, and her real name was Hope. Armed with this information, Stephanie makes several calls until she finally reaches Emily's mother. Obtaining the address, she visits the house under the guise of a maid. Inside, she learns that Emily had a troubled past, and that her sister, Hope, struggled with drug addiction. With the information she needed in hand, she returns to the motel where she was staying and shares her findings, subtly sending a message to Emily, whom she was certain was watching. Watching her final vlog post, Emily furiously tosses her tablet, acknowledging that Stephanie has outsmarted her. Understanding that she has no alternative, Emily seeks out Sean while he's having lunch at their favorite restaurant and confesses that she had orchestrated everything for the family, insisting that she had to keep it a secret to avoid arousing suspicion. After threatening him and presenting him with a choice between her and Stephanie, Emily walks away, leaving Sean with a daunting decision. When Sean returns home, he discovers Stephanie sitting with an insurance adjuster whom she had informed about Emily's twin. As they discuss the issue around the dining table, the adjuster explains that Emily's case is intriguing and requires further investigation before releasing the funds to the family. The adjuster also warns them that all their findings will be reported to the authorities. Once the adjuster leaves, Sean angrily asks Stephanie why she hadn't told him about Emily's sister, but she callously tells him to take a Xanax just as he once had. Stephanie then gets on her blog and leaves Emily a subtle message, telling her to meet her at her tombstone. Upon receiving the message, Emily arrives at the cemetery, and the two share a martini, reminiscing about the old days. Stephanie asks about Emily's troublesome sister, Faith. Emily recounts the story of how they had set fire to the house and fled, explaining that they had to part ways as they were being pursued, which ultimately led Emily to end up in New York. A few weeks ago, Emily got a message from Faith, who threatens to expose their secret and give the information up to the police if she didn't come see her. She had gone to meet Faith in their old camp, where she had asked her for money. Although Emily tells Stephanie that Faith killed herself, Stephanie is sure that Emily drowned her sister on purpose. Upon playing Stephanie a recording in which she had cornered Sean into admitting that he didn't truly love Stephanie, Emily convinces Stephanie to leave Sean and join forces with her to incriminate him. Emily pretends that Sean had physically abused her and goes to the precinct to press charges against him. After Sean is arrested and released on bail, he returns home to find Emily dressed up in his house. As the two argue, Stephanie suddenly appears with a gun and shoots Sean in the chest, hoping to coerce Emily into confessing to her sister's murder. As Stephanie theatrically tries to save Sean's life, Emily sees through the charade and reveals that she already knew they were attempting to frame her. After disclosing that she had severed the wires providing information to the authorities, Emily announces her intention to stage a murder-suicide by killing them. She then shoots Sean in the shoulder. However, Stephanie manages to get Emily to confess to all her crimes, revealing that she has been live streaming their entire conversation through a small nanny cam hidden in her shirt button. Realizing that she was caught, Emily runs out into the street and is hit by a car before she could get far. Soon after, the police surround the area and take the sociopathic Emily to jail. After the incident, Stephanie manages to get 1 million subscribers on her blog and becomes famous, adding investigative tips to her cooking show. Her highly successful vlog was then purchased by a publishing giant who plans to turn it into a daily morning show, while her cold case agency had brought over 30 dangerous fugitives to justice. Emily has managed to adjust to prison life quite nicely. And with that, the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for amazing videos. See you in the next one.